Sukai and Tansongyun's explosive live moment leaves fans questioning everything. Something unexpected happened during Sukai and Tansongyun's latest live broadcast, and within minutes, fans were scrambling to figure out exactly what they had just witnessed. What began as an ordinary promotional livestream quickly turned into a moment that sent social media into overdrive. The atmosphere changed almost instantly. The two stars appeared visibly flustered, and one seemingly innocent comment suddenly sounded far more personal than anyone expected. Was it simply an awkward misunderstanding? A carefully planned promotional strategy? Or did one of China's most closely watched on-screen pairings accidentally reveal something they never intended the public to hear? For fans who have followed Sukai and Tansongyun for years, the moment was impossible to ignore. It started like any other promotional livestream. At the beginning, everything appeared completely normal. Sukai and Tansongyun were chatting, laughing, and discussing their work together. Their familiar chemistry was immediately noticeable, but that was hardly surprising. The two have long attracted attention whenever they appear together, largely because of how naturally they interact on camera. There were smiles, teasing exchanges, and the kind of relaxed conversation viewers have come to expect from promotional appearances. Then, suddenly, the tone shifted. During the conversation, one comment appeared to cross the invisible line between professional and personal. It was not an obvious declaration. There was no dramatic confession or direct announcement. That was precisely what made it so intriguing. The wording seemed to suggest that the two had shared a personal experience away from the public spotlight. For a few seconds, the atmosphere became noticeably different. Tansongyun appeared caught off guard. Sukai seemed to react with an expression that fans immediately began dissecting. Instead of quickly laughing and moving on, there was a brief pause, a small moment of hesitation that viewers interpreted in completely different ways. And that was enough. The live stream exploded. Fans immediately started connecting the dots. Within moments, viewers began flooding the comments with questions. What did she mean? Did he just admit something? Why did they suddenly become so nervous? Those questions quickly turned into theories. Some fans believed they had witnessed an accidental slip-up. Others argued that the entire exchange was simply being overanalyzed because of the pair's enormous popularity. But the most interesting reaction came from viewers who focused less on the actual words and more on what happened immediately afterward. Tansongyun appeared embarrassed and seemed eager to move the conversation elsewhere. Sukai, meanwhile, looked considerably more relaxed. To fans, that contrast was fascinating. If the comment had been completely harmless, why did the atmosphere suddenly become so awkward? That question became the center of the online discussion. Of course, body language alone cannot prove a romantic relationship. A nervous laugh, a glance, or a moment of silence can have countless explanations. But celebrity fandom rarely stops at the obvious explanation. And once the speculation started, it moved incredibly quickly. The dating rumors suddenly returned to the spotlight. Sukai and Tansongyun have faced intense fan speculation before. Their chemistry on screen has repeatedly encouraged viewers to imagine that their relationship might extend beyond their professional partnership. Over time, fans have analyzed interviews, public appearances, backstage interactions, and even the smallest exchanges between them. Neither star has publicly confirmed a romantic relationship based on the moment described here. That distinction is important. Still, the livestream gave longtime fans something new to analyze. Instead of simply looking at old photographs or replaying previous interviews, they now had a fresh interaction happening in real time. and fans immediately began comparing it with their earlier appearances. Some pointed out that Sukai appeared unusually attentive toward Tansongyun. Others focused on the way the two reacted when the conversation became personal. Then came another detail that sent viewers into a frenzy. Tansongyun appeared to mention being there for someone during a personal situation. The word personal became one of the biggest talking points. Was she referring to something completely unrelated to romance? Absolutely possible. But because of the history surrounding the pair, fans interpreted it through a very different lens. And once that interpretation took hold, it became almost impossible to stop. Was this really an accidental slip? This is where the story becomes much more complicated. There are essentially two possibilities. The first is that the livestream contained an innocent comment that fans interpreted far beyond its original meaning. That happens frequently in celebrity culture. Two actors who are comfortable around each other can naturally behave like close friends, and viewers may interpret that familiarity as romantic chemistry. The second possibility is that something genuinely personal was revealed unintentionally. If that happened, the reaction would make sense. A live broadcast is fundamentally different from a scripted interview. There is no opportunity to edit an awkward sentence before the audience hears it. Once something is said, thousands or even millions of people may hear it simultaneously. And that is exactly why live streams can be so dangerous for celebrities. One sentence can create an entire news cycle. One expression can become a viral screenshot. One unexpected pause can fuel days of speculation. That may be what happened here. But then the conversation took an even more interesting turn. Just when viewers thought the discussion was entirely about the relationship rumors, another topic appeared to complicate the situation. The conversation reportedly moved toward future projects and the difficulties surrounding their professional plans. At one point, Sukai appeared to suggest that there were forces beyond the two actors influencing the situation. That statement immediately opened another door. What exactly did he mean? Was he talking about production schedules? Contractual obligations? Investment decisions? Scheduling conflicts? Or something much more serious happening behind the scenes? Fans began speculating about projects that might have been delayed, changed, or placed on hold. But here, caution is essential. A vague statement during a livestream is not enough to establish the existence of a blacklist, corporate dispute, or behind-the-scenes conflict. Those are serious claims that require reliable evidence before they can be treated as fact. Nevertheless, the possibility was enough to ignite another wave of discussion. Suddenly, the livestream was no longer just about whether Sukai and Tansongyun might be romantically involved. Fans were asking whether their professional careers could also be affected by the enormous attention surrounding them. Why would their relationship matter so much? The Chinese entertainment industry is highly competitive. Actors are not simply performers. They are connected to production companies, agencies, advertisers, broadcasters, investors, and major commercial brands. A celebrity's public image can influence everything from casting opportunities to endorsements. That means a rumored relationship can become much more complicated when both people involved are major stars. For fans, romance might seem like a private matter. For an entertainment company, however, it can potentially become a business consideration. That is why speculation surrounding celebrity couples can become so intense. And in Sukai and Tansongyun's case, their enormous popularity together only magnifies the situation. If they are simply close friends, the speculation may eventually disappear. If they are genuinely dating, however, the public reaction could become much larger. And if their professional projects are also involved, the stakes become even higher. The fan reaction was perhaps the biggest story of all. Interestingly, the reaction was not dominated by anger. Instead, many fans appeared supportive. Rather than demanding explanations or criticizing either actor, supporters flooded social media with messages encouraging the two stars to follow their own choices. That response says something important about how audiences have changed. Celebrity relationships were once treated almost like scandals. Today, many fans are increasingly willing to accept that actors have private lives outside their careers. They can fall in love. They can build relationships. They can make personal decisions. And they can choose how much of those relationships they want to share with the public. For Sukai and Tansongyun supporters, the livestream therefore became less about demanding an immediate confession and more about wondering whether the two were trying to navigate an increasingly complicated situation. But did the livestream actually confirm anything? No, not by itself. This is the point where excitement needs to be separated from evidence. A blush is not confirmation. A glance is not confirmation. A nervous reaction is not confirmation. Even an ambiguous statement is not necessarily an admission. Fans can speculate, analyze clips and discuss their favorite theories, but only the people involved can confirm what their relationship actually is. And that uncertainty may be exactly why the moment became so addictive for viewers. There was no clear answer. Instead, there were clues. There were pauses. There were reactions. There were questions. And the internet filled in the gaps. The bigger question: what happens next? Now that the livestream has attracted so much attention, the real question is what happens after the cameras are turned off. Will Sukai and Tansongyun address the speculation? Will their agencies remain silent? Will the conversation simply be dismissed as fans misunderstanding an innocent interaction? Or will another appearance provide even more clues? For now, nobody outside their inner circle can know for certain. And that uncertainty is precisely what keeps the story alive. The livestream may have lasted only a short time, but the discussion surrounding it could continue for much longer. Every old interview will probably be replayed. Every previous interaction will be reconsidered. Every photograph showing the two together may suddenly receive a second look. That is how celebrity speculation works. Once audiences believe they have discovered a hidden clue, the entire history of a relationship can suddenly appear different. One thing is certain: the conversation has changed. Whatever actually happened during the broadcast, the moment has changed the way many fans are looking at Sukai and Tansongyun. Before the livestream, their chemistry could easily be dismissed as part of their appeal as co-stars. After the livestream, some viewers believe they saw something more personal. Others remain unconvinced. And perhaps the disagreement is exactly what will keep the story trending. Was it an accidental slip? Was it simply two close colleagues becoming too comfortable during a live broadcast? Was the entire moment exaggerated by excited fans? Or did viewers genuinely witness something that was never supposed to become public? Right now, there is no definitive answer. But one thing is undeniable: the internet has noticed. And once millions of viewers start replaying the same few seconds, analyzing every expression and connecting every possible clue, it becomes almost impossible to put the genie back in the bottle. For Sukai and Tansongyun, the next public appearance could therefore be more closely watched than ever. Because after this livestream, fans are no longer simply watching them as co-stars. They are watching for the next clue. And if another unexpected moment happens, the internet will undoubtedly be ready. So now the question goes to you. Do you think fans are reading too much into this livestream, or did Sukai and Tansongyun genuinely reveal a side of their relationship they intended to keep private? The evidence remains open to interpretation, but that is exactly what makes this story so fascinating.